Hello. Happy Friday, everyone.
I love this.
I know. Just I want this to be my table right now. I would like it to be. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal Hinkle. I'm part of the team here at Synchro.
And I'm Brandy, also part of the sales team here at Synchro. So excited to see you guys today. And it's Friday, and we're just excited.
Yes, we are very excited. It's been a great week, and it's Thanksgiving next week, which is I think my favorite holiday if I had to pick one. Um, and we just love open office hours. So, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, that was a pretty casual opening, but well, yeah, welcome to open office hours. So what we do here is really answer whatever questions you've had throughout the week, or as you've started your journey with Synchro. And what's awesome about open office hours is it really doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. So your questions can be very preliminary: how to, does it do this, can you do that, to more in-depth, here's my workflow, how do I make it work more efficient. So we're here to help. We use the Q&A. So if you do see our eyes glance over, we definitely are looking at the Q&A and just making sure that that's the kind of the best way for us to be able to track who's going to go next, I guess, if you will. But feel free to just start asking all of your questions. We try to get through all of them. We will be super transparent and upfront if we don't know the answer. So if it is something, if it's something super technical, we will try to ask our team while we're in this call to see if we can get an answer for you. If not, we'll politely say maybe reach out to technical support. But usually we do a pretty good job getting through most of these questions. So I'm starting to see some, I haven't read anything over this.
I think some people went to the Bitdefender webinar yesterday. So Peter said, my highly technical question is, and I was like, oh no, what is it? But he said, can we have Selkie concert after every webinar? So yes, it was awesome. The webinar was great yesterday, and I did not miss the party. I was there. I just wasn't on camera. I got to enjoy that. And if you guys did not attend, it was an excellent webinar with Bitdefender. We had a little concert afterwards, which was really cool. If you had your family, maybe a drink, just enjoy the Thursday afternoon. We will be posting that to our YouTube channel. And if you registered, but you weren't able to make it, I think that will likely go out in an email. But you can always reach out to one of us and we'll post it for you. It talked about the integration. It wasn't just specific to Bitdefender and their offering. It was actually what our integration looks like. We also had a guest speaker, one of our MSP clients here at Syncro, talk about his experience and how he utilizes Bitdefender. So it was really awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was probably my favorite webinar that I've attended at Syncro. And we're really excited to see that it looks like quite a few guys were able to join us too.
Yeah, it was so fun. I agree. I would love live music at the end of every webinar that we do. I'm gonna start grabbing a couple. We've got the few in the queue here. First one from Jason: is there a test API site or is something in the works? So we did update our API and we've added different, ways to create tokens. That's a really secure way to do that. So you can choose which models you want to create tokens. Now, I thought I thought a sandbox option was in the works, but I don't know if is that yet. I think it might not have happened yet. It's definitely something that we're looking into because we do get that requested a lot. Then the other one I was going to grab just really quickly from Willie: hello, does the ticketing system allow ticket creation via email? So let me just go ahead and share my screen really quick. You're going to see my presentation. I forgot to get rid of it first. So if we go to your admin section here, you'll see that we have what we call mailboxes. And essentially, this is a way for you to set up a way for an inbound email to create a ticket for you. So if you just head over to Mailboxes, you can set it up. I'll just go into one so you can see the options here. But essentially, it's you're setting it up so that if someone sends an email to like your help at or support at, you're having that automatically forward and redirect into Synchro. And then you can choose how you want Synchro to respond to that. So whether it's always create a ticket, whether it's an existing customer or not, only for customers. I have seen people that have inboxes in Synchro that they don't ever have it create a ticket. It might be something that you want it to convert it to a lead at first so you can look at it and then decide whether you want to create it as a ticket or not. But let's, for example, say we only want tickets created for existing customers. This will match customer emails. Now, if you want it to go beyond that, you can set up email rules where like if so our domain is at syncromsp.com. If I didn't have Brandy as one of my contacts, I can have email rules that as long as the domain matches, it'll know where to direct that ticket. And then you have some options here. So whether you want it to set an issue type based upon where that what mailbox they're using. Because I do, again, another use case is maybe you are using, which you won't have to for you won't have to do this any longer, but there's a third, if you had a third party tool doing like backups, for example, and you had a backup inbox, you could have like all of those tickets create under like an issue type of backup, that kind of thing. So I have seen that happen. So that was kind of a long answer to just a yes, but yes, you can create tickets from inbound email.
There is one more question just in regards to that. So Donnie said, can we set up a second mailbox for ticket creation? I like pointing device alerts to an alternate email address for ticket creation, and I need to keep these types of requests separate. So that's a great question. You can actually have as many inbound mailboxes as you would like to. And a lot of people like to utilize those there's one outbound mailbox and then multiple inbound. And you can even have like, okay, if it's going to sales at, it's going to create this type of a ticket. And if it's going to support at, it's going to be this type of a ticket. So yeah, you absolutely can. But I just saw that question pop up right when you were talking about it.
Well, yeah, thank you.
Awesome. That's great. So there's a couple things in here. Andy, while we have Crystal on here, I'll ask. So Andy emailed me yesterday. He said, if I create a customer and then a ticket for that customer and then realize that the email I used for that customer is the wrong person in the organization, I can change the email address, but is there a way to resend the initial ticket created email to the correct person? I could not find a way to do that. I don't think you can resend the initial ticket communication, but I told him I would double check with you today just to make sure. I was not able to see that, and I did quite a bit of testing with that.
I don't think so. Unfortunately, I think because that's kind of a back end trigger email. So I think you'd actually have to create a new ticket if you wanted that initial email to go out.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, a couple of questions in here. So Mitchell is asking, can you set a worksheet to auto-populate on a ticket when a specific issue type is selected? Excellent question. I love worksheets. Huge fan of worksheets. So what you can do with worksheets is when you're creating these, and let me just create one for you as a test. It's not going to be a specific, testing two. Okay, here we go. I've already created one of these. It's not going to be a specific issue type. It's actually going to be a specific custom field type that these attach to. So I have a few different custom field types. This is specific tickets that I work on pretty often. And so I have a virus removal worksheet. I have a virus removal custom field. You all might want to create worksheets for onboarding or offboarding new customers. And this is the way that those would be tied in. So if you were going to, and I'm just going to do this since we don't have that many questions in here, and I think it's going to benefit quite a few people. If I have a customer page pulled up and I'm manually creating a ticket, I just click on the asset, create a ticket here. I only have a few required fields, so I can create one really quickly, but I use custom field types, and I'm going to choose a specific custom field type. And then boom, I've got my worksheet here. So I really, really like these. Keeps everyone in the same page. If you have multiple texts, keeps everyone consistent. If it's just you, it just helps streamline the process. If you do have multiple texts, you can make it to where it is mandatory to get 100% completed before this ticket can be closed. So hopefully that helps. Not specific types, but custom fields. So really like those. And then Alan, a little further clarification on if you're using QuickBooks Online or desktop, but he says, I'm looking to automate monthly invoicing of tickets sent to QuickBooks. Want to make sure we are setting things up correctly. It's really easy to do, and it is going to automatically send those over to QuickBooks for you. Depending on if you're using QuickBooks Online or desktop, I'll drop the KB in the chat box. And I am sorry if Crystal mentioned this already. We will drop KBs in the chat box, but if you guys will use the Q&A, that will be very beneficial. But I'll go ahead and drop both of those in case I don't hear from you in there. And then I'll take this last one in here. So I see I have a client looking for a quarterly report regarding tickets. Can we customize the report to show different custom fields that I've added into the tickets? And also, can you customize ticket templates for each individual client? Ticket templates cannot be customized per client. There's only one ticket template, but you can have multiple invoice templates. And then as far as custom field types, those will not show. The only thing that will show is if you have, actually, let me just show you real quick, because we did this in open office hours a couple weeks ago. So what is going to show in reports under the customer detail report? Let me just pull this up for you. It's not going to show like all of your individual custom field types, but right here, ticket by type, these are going to be the only place I believe that custom fields will show. So it's almost like a sub ticket category, if you will. I think we determined that tickets by type actually means their custom field type, right? Yeah. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Okay. All right. I'm going to read this one from Mitchell. I'm just going to read it because I'm not sure I might have some follow-up questions. So asking, is there a module for invoicing that you can add directly into the ticket page as opposed to having to click the invoice in the corner? If I select the invoice section on the workflow, it doesn't show up in the ticket directly, just in the corner. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of like walk through what I just read just to make sure that I'm on the same page. So when you're in tickets, there's a few things here. I'm just wondering if you're meaning when you say like in the corner. I might need just a little bit more clarification, but let me just show you for those of you that are listening in too. There's a couple things. So of course, like you can go to your invoice modules here. We do have ticket workflows that like include, I didn't know the ticket workflows included invoicing. So that's where like when you're in the actual ticket, you can make an invoice from here. But I'm not exactly sure of what the feature request is asking. So maybe if you can clarify a little bit more, unless you were following, I just am not sure exactly what you're looking to achieve.
Yeah, I think he just didn't want to go into a different tab, like by in the corner. I think it just means in a different tab, basically.
Okay. I mean, one thing I will say is that it's cool that you can tell now, like you can add a column for invoiced. And what's nice is if it is invoiced, you can see that here and it's clickable from there. But yeah, maybe if I'm not answering your question, I'm so sorry, but let me know if there's a way I can help better. And then Manuel says, we set up saving invoices to Dropbox. This works very well for new invoices. Any way to get previous invoices saved. So if they were generated in Synchro, you should be able to head over to, I don't know why I went to admin first, because I could have just went straight to reports. But where you're looking here, let me just do it this way, because sometimes it's Friday and my brain stops working and it takes the long way around. So from here, what you can do is you can do like an invoice export from here, and that will give you all of your invoices of all time. So that might be a way to do that. I really like this from Bryant, and I am tracking this request. I guess
I love it.
so I'm just going to read it out loud. So, does Synchro offer any role-based training webinars and videos for employees? I'm looking to hire someone to handle client billing in Synchro, which is awesome. Congratulations on hiring and growing, but I need to train them in all the basics of how to use Synchro. Role-based training webinars and tutorials would be awesome. Used ConnectWise, and they had the university, which I've heard is pretty great. Based on an employee role, employees could be assigned online courses to take. Yeah, I love this. I absolutely love this. I'm going to pass this along. I actually took a screenshot of it because we're working on different solutions for different ways to onboard and continue training. We do recommend at this point, like send all of your new people here and have them ask questions. Of course, we have an awesome YouTube channel. And then we have like getting started with Synchro, where they could go through like the sections that apply to them. But I think after doing that, sending them here is a really, right now is kind of the best solution we have for that ongoing training.
I love that. I think that's amazing, especially if they're not like a full-blown tech and you just want someone that specializes in billing without sitting through, all of the technical stuff, because that can get lost too. So excellent. I like that. A couple things in here that I see. So Willie, nice to chat with you again. It hasn't been too long, right? I don't know if that was this morning or yesterday. All my days are blending together, but he says, when using this to set up Windows updates, will this override what has been configured on the server? So if you do have a Windows patch policy set, we disable the device's ability to automatically install those updates, and we install based on the policy inside of Synchro. So whatever was on the computer before, it's overwritten by the Synchro policy. So hopefully that helps. And then I also saw one in here. So is there a way to integrate Synchro with our client's own internal service ticket program? So I have an idea for you, and let me just share my screen here. There's two different solutions. We do offer single customer permissions. So just like you could have your technicians inside of Synchro, you could actually set up your client as a customer, or excuse me, as a technician inside of Synchro. And you have different role-based responsibilities. So I can come in here and set up my users. I could have different security groups, and I could just give them single customer permissions. So I'm just going through this because some people here might be in a similar situation, especially with the way things are right now. A lot of people have a customer with internal IT. So you could basically, you have over 200 permissions. They only have like 28 different things to choose from specific to that customer. Another option that you have is in your automated remediations. So this could be an area, or even in your ticket automations, there's going to be quite a few different places where you could email a custom email address. So for that specific client, you might say, okay, if a device has low hard drive space and it is a specific customer, so you could put that specific customer in here, then I want to do this. And you could have it email that custom email address that would go directly to your customer. So this is just a little workaround on a way that you could do that. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm gonna grab a couple. So Alan, I'm going to say this one out loud. I have an integration with QuickBooks, but the issue is automations from Syncro and selecting the correct contract to automate the invoice with all the tickets for the month. So one thing that is interesting about this, and I just was talking to an MSP yesterday, sometimes when you have been using maybe a different RMM or PSA in the past, there's like different terms and verbiage that we use that maybe doesn't necessarily, it's not like a one-to-one with our competitors. So for example, the word contract, like in Syncro, the way that we use contracts is very different. And I will say very different than ConnectWise, for example. So I'm going to kind of like change the verbiage, because I think what you're looking to do is actually create a reoccurring invoice, which if you were comparing, I don't know if you are migrating or if you were using ConnectWise, but if you're using ConnectWise, our reoccurring invoices are more like agreements in ConnectWise. So let me just really quickly, because this model we handle really, really well. If you want all of your pending ticket charges, so time and material, to automatically append to a reoccurring invoice, automatically generate that invoice, send it to your customer, have that automatically sync to QuickBooks. This is how you would do it. So you would just generate a reoccurring invoice, choose how often you want to be billing your customer. Of course, you can attach invoice terms, and there's a few other settings, but this is going to be the hot ticket item for this reoccurring invoice. You can have it add any pending ticket charges. You can even have that filter by ticket status. So maybe you only want to charge them if the ticket has been resolved, which was a huge request and an awesome add to reoccurring invoices. Now, with this said, if you're going to generate your invoices and send them out of Syncro, of course, you could just have that email the customer the PDF right away. So these reoccurring invoices, just a little bit deeper, they're going to generate at 6 a.m. your local time for the day that you have them set to run. And what's going to happen is when they generate, it's also going to sync that invoice to QuickBooks, whether it's online or desktop. And now, if you edit that invoice or mark it paid, all of that stuff is going to sync automatically to QuickBooks desktop or online. So there's no need, you don't need to have like Connect Booster or any sort of third-party tool. It'll just automatically do that. Now, one thing that I just like to say, and I know Brandy, I think she dropped the KB, it's worth noting that there's just a couple differences between the desktop version of QuickBooks and the online version. So for example, I do have some users that actually receive payment in QuickBooks instead of in Synchro, which of course that's your preference. So if you choose to not email this to your customer, have the email auto-generate in Synchro, but you actually send it out of QuickBooks. If you have QuickBooks Online, that payment will sync back and mark the invoice paid in Synchro. If you have QuickBooks Desktop, it will not. So just those are like some of the main things to just be aware of. So I hope that that's helpful, and it was kind of long-winded, but I hope that that was helpful. And then I love this from Brianna. I'm an account coordinator for our company, and I spent a ton of time just watching the Synchro YouTube videos and attending open office hours, and it has been super beneficial, and we love having you. So thank you. We see you most weeks, which we love that. Then this last one I think that I'm going to grab, how do I change the logo that appears on top of the ticket reply email? And if I change it, will this affect my logo anywhere else like the system tray icon? So really great question. Let's go to your admin section. And all right, so I believe it's in account. Is it account profile or is it general? Yeah, okay. So if you can change your logo here. This is what's going to change your logo on all your PDF and email templates. The other place that this is going to pull, this is not going to affect your system tray icon at all. But what it will do, did I click policies? I don't know if I clicked it. Okay. What it will do is if you were in, I guess I don't need to go into the actual policy. Sorry, let me back up. In policies, if you go to your agent contact forms, your agent contact form is actually going to pull from that logo unless you want a different one. So when it says use account logo, it's going to use whatever logo you had there. You can also say, nope, I don't want it to do that. And you can add a different JPEG there. So you have a couple options. And then if you do want to change your system tray icon, you do that in the RMM settings. And we have some great resources because it does have to be an ICO file. So yeah, you can choose that and update that there. So those are the two, that's where they separate.
Awesome. Thank you. Couple
Yep.
questions in here. Peter, I do like the suggestion, and I have gotten it before, but he said that he had suggested an improvement in the top menu bar to show more options in the community-driven development program, which I'm going to give a plug to that because Andy just posted yesterday a new one. So every couple weeks in our Facebook group, which is awesome, and I can drop the link to the Facebook group too. I promise you guys you'll get a lot of value there and answers very quickly. We do a community-driven track request feature request list, and it's open for 24 hours, and you can submit any small quality of life features that would really make your job easier, help you make more money, you name it. So you can drop your feature request as well as why. People can upvote and kind of say, yeah, I'd love that, but what if we added this kind of thing? And they choose one to ship. I think one has been shipping every single week since we started this a few months ago. It's awesome. But he had put in that to add additional ones, said that responses have been something to the effect that redesigning the menu from horizontal to vertical down on the left side would solve that, but no commitment to let us know if it's actually on the horizon. Can you confirm if UI improvements are being looked at? I can confirm that they are always being looked at. I can't confirm an ETA or what those UI improvements will look like, but they are constantly being looked at. We're definitely looking at not just adding new features and functionality, but also improving the overall look and feel of the product. So I do appreciate that. And there's also some really great people in that listen to these open office hours that like to hear your requests too. So if you're out there, and then Bryant too, great question. Payment integration with other systems. We're looking to increase our usage of ACH, and I understand that WorldPay is the only integrated partner for ACH. We use Authorize.net, and your current integration works great for credit cards. Authorize.net has an e-check service, but I'm currently researching how that integrates with their customer information manager where credit cards can be stored. Can you provide any information about whether you are planning to offer more payment processing options than just WorldPay? I can confirm that we are looking at other payment processors always, not just payment processors, but other integrations in general. We're always looking at, we of course want to build everything inside of Synchro that we can, but there are certain features that we do need to integrate with other platforms, and we're always looking at that. So if you guys have one that you love, feel free to let us know. And two, if you are not in the US and there is a payment processor that you love, I would love to hear what you guys are using, because I know not everyone uses ACH. So if there's some kind of direct bank transfer that you guys are using, we'd love to hear that. Wow.
This happened.
We have 0 questions, 27 minutes, you guys.
Yeah, I think we're getting I feel like we're getting pretty efficient though, because that was kind of a flurry, and it happens. It goes crazy all of a sudden. Okay, so now I have to ask, okay, so what's your favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner?
Interesting. These are great questions, you guys. Mitchell says, where can you find that feature request page again? It's actually in our Facebook group, the community driven track. And Andy is the one who posts it. I will post a link to our Facebook group right now, and I'm going to let Crystal take the next question.
Which one?
The one that you just dismissed.
No.
Just kidding. We have an employee that's trying to pull our leg, ask us who our favorite Synchro employee is. So, oh, Jeremy, can you demo the new integrated backup? We can't, because we don't have it in our account yet. They learned not to put it in here because we spill the beans on Fridays. But if you are on our Facebook group, and actually I think an email went out yesterday, you guys heard some really good stuff about some sneaks that are coming in December with backup. We're really excited.
Yeah. Yep. Backup would be awesome.
They put a lot of information about it in there too, which was nice.
Yes. Let's see. Brian does want to know, which I think is awesome. Is there an online Synchro community forum? Did you kind of address this kind of in a roundabout way, where Synchro partners can share best practices? So we've alluded to this a couple of times. The Facebook group is kind of our users group right now, and it's an awesome community. There's a lot of folks that are talking to each other about best practices, about how-tos, all sorts of things. It's a great way to kind of start to meet people and maybe see if you can have a group a Zoom or whatever that might be. But I know that we are working actively actually on different form options. And so kind of be on the lookout for that. And of course, we'll tell everybody as well. What else do we have in here? Oh, geez, I haven't scrolled down. Okay. Are you filtering through these?
Yeah, I'm trying to just dismiss the comments, but
okay. Let's see. I'm going to read this one out loud. Corey, haven't read it yet. Just reading it out loud. We added QuickBooks integration when we first started up and found that when everything did sync up, that our in-store and on-site customers all populated, including old inventory. To get to the point, is there a way to only pull relevant data from QuickBooks, or would you recommend a different avenue? I believe that when you're first setting up that integration, I thought there was a way to select what was syncing and what wasn't. Now, I am not a QuickBooks specialist, so I'm not going to pretend to like know that answer, but I do know that if you need to like essentially start over, I believe technical support actually has to reset that if you want to like start from scratch. And so I would kind of, unfortunately, I would probably ask that maybe you kind of hook up with the technical support team for that question, because I don't want to give you false information. Let's see.
I see one in here. Andy's asking, is there a good way to disable scripting for individual assets like you can for customer? Not all my assets in a company are covered by support contract. I'm pretty certain, and I'll let Crystal chime in, but I'm pretty certain that's just on a customer basis. For example, if someone, in a way that you might use that, it is one of our newer features, is if someone doesn't make a payment, you can halt all their scripting if you'd like to. I don't think that's on an asset basis currently. I think it's on a customer basis. And then Andy also asks, can I change the portal, or I can change the portal accent color? Can I change the main UI theme? You can't, but you can do dark mode. So a lot of people like to switch it up and go to dark mode too. But as far as your Synchro instance goes, it'll just be that teal color.
Okay, let's see. Let me look here. It's funny because like this is what happens. It was like no one was asking questions and now there's a ton in there. Okay. Let's see. Peter, I had followed the instructions on creating a new lead based on incoming emails that are not customers. However, I'm wondering why I have to select one leads in order to see them. They really aren't one leads. They're leads in limbo until I either win or lose them. Am I missing something? I don't think you're missing anything. I think that I would probably have to double check what we're doing on the back end. And I know like people use our leads module for a lot of different things. And I think that it's kind of one of those that I almost recommend from a sales standpoint, just since that's what I do. I would almost recommend converting those leads to customers and using custom fields to filter like who are opportunities and who are actually clients, that kind of thing. Because once they're a customer, you can do a lot more than what you can do in the leads module as it stands right now. So meaning if they're a lead and you haven't closed them, like you could be sending them drip emails using our marketing campaign. It's just called Mailer. So I almost, I can check for you, Peter, because I don't have a specific answer for you, but I almost would encourage using just the customer module and filtering by custom fields. Because again, you can then you can set reminders like, hey, call this person back in a week and that kind of thing. You just have a little bit more flexibility if they're actually created as a customer. Let's see here.
Jeremy said, can you share any info regarding the quiet change to the profile selector on assets? I honestly don't know what change was made to that. If you want to direct us as to, unless you know, Crystal, like where to go. I was clicking around just to see if I saw anything new. And Honestly, we do ship new features all the time, thanks to our amazing dev team. Shout out to them because I know some of them are here. But oftentimes we'll be on a demo and it's like, oh, that's new, or it just makes it look nicer, an easier way to see something or filter something. So if you did notice something, feel free to let us know where that is, and we'll let you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for grabbing that one. I'm gonna read this one out loud because I'll be honest, I don't have the answer for this, but maybe someone in the room does. Is it possible to have the Syncro agent run a script or batch file every time a user logs in, like what a server would do, but environment does not have one? For example, could we have it run a script every login to map network drives? I don't know enough about scripting to know if that's possible, but I would imagine maybe Brandy knows or someone in here knows. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe someone knows, and maybe I'm getting an answer right now. Who knows? Oh, see, we have some special people listening in here today. An answer for you. Let me go ahead. Let me share my screen here. And so what you could do based upon the information of this lovely individual, if you go to assets in RMM and you go to automated remediation, so what you can do, I'm taking this, like I'm skipping a little bit of a step, assuming that in your policies where you can set up event log IDs, you can also what am I doing here? Yeah, automated remediation. So if you set up an event log ID alert for logins, you could then set up an automated remediation for that. So like every time that event log happens for a login, so you could have trigger category and it could be the event log. So like whatever, I mean, you can have your custom event logs. They would be right here if you had them enabled anywhere. And then what you could do is then have it automatically run a script. So that would be the suggestion from our team, which is awesome. And hopefully that helps. Cool. I think the other one I was going to grab is, how do you create tickets that have pre-populated fields, CCs, body, etc., that can be adjusted manually before sending out, not a reoccurring ticket? So actually, I'm going to show you a couple things. So it depends on how the ticket is being created. I mean, I know, so it just says how when creates tickets. So what I'm saying though is, like, if you were creating a ticket from automated remediation, so like from an alert or something like that, you could, when you convert this to a ticket, you can predefine all of these fields. So that's one way if you're having tickets automatically generate. The other way that I like to think about this too, it does somewhat depend on where you're creating the ticket from, right? So for example, if you were in the alerts section, now if you create a ticket from here, you're going to have the asset and the customer already attached to the ticket. It's not going to pre-populate like the body of the ticket, for example, but it would attach the asset and the customer. Same for if you were actually in the customer. This is like one of my favorite things. And if you've had a demo with me, I probably have shown you this 800 times in one demo. But one of my favorite ways, if you're going to have to manually create a ticket, if you do it from the actual asset, you can do it from here, from the customer detail screen. You can do it from the assets and RMM screen, but you can create a ticket from here. And so if there is a contact attached to this asset, not only will the asset be pre-populated in the ticket, but so will the contact. So manually creating a ticket, this is the way that I would do it. Otherwise, if you want even more fields populated, use automated remediation. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So I kind of thought this is what you guys were talking about, but I wanted to make sure that it was in your account too, because sometimes we get some things that I'm like, oh yeah, it's in here. Don't you have it? And you don't quite yet, because our devs are working on this account. So this is what Jeremy was referring to. If I open up an asset, and I think, Jeremy, this is what you're referring to. This actually used to just say base package. It didn't have a link or anything. And a lot of people didn't realize that it was a drop down to change the policy. So now you can actually come in and change the policy. It's not a guessing game on can I click on that and change the policy. It's really easy to do. So I think that's what you're referring to. That was just kind of one of those, we didn't need to make a big announcement about it because we have way better features that we usually announce, things like that. So that's just a small little quality of life improvement for you. And then Brian says, did you guys already discuss backup? We didn't talk too much about it. We just said that there was a sneak about it in our Facebook group too. I will say, if you want to search our Facebook group, there's a post from Andy regarding backups. I believe it was yesterday, maybe the day before. If you just search for Andy, and I think I put a link in there to the Facebook group. That's where you're going to get the best information. People were asking a lot of questions about it. Responses were coming right away. It has details in terms of like launch date. I think it said middle of December. Pricing information was all listed in there. So you'll be able to see quite a bit of information and some really great questions from people. So we're really, really excited about that. And then Andy, where is dark mode? So let me share that with you real quick. If you go up to the top of your Synchro instance under your name, if you just click on that, there's a dark mode option. So you can change that. Yeah, that's where you can do it. So that's kind of your workaround to change the colors, right? Give your eyes a different view.
Awesome. Is it my turn? I don't know. Like I said, I think it must be Friday because
yeah, you can. Brian asked, can we discuss pricing for backup? I can send you exactly what was posted. It's public knowledge. So let me go grab that and I'll pop it in here.
Sure. I'm going to grab this one from Larissa. I believe this is a feature request at this point, but she's wondering if it's possible to send an estimate to someone other than the main billing person. So at this point, I think this is a feature request because what I was looking at while Brandy was speaking was, so when you're looking at an invoice right here, now the thing is you could add a contact here, but it is also going to go to the main. So like you could send it to multiple people, but not just the assigned contact. It'll send to the main email and this assigned contact. So what I was wondering too, like, I mean, so I think you're asking if this could just be editable instead of always sending to that main one. Because I just was double checking because we added a lot of really cool things here where you can have like an alternate email for invoices and that kind of thing. So I'm going to pass that along because I can see the value there for sure. And then Clarence says, by default, Synchro only sends the last comment in the email from ticket communications. We want to change this to include all comments to make it easier for clients to read the whole thread if possible. So you're saying you want them to see all comments so they don't have to actually click into the PDF of the ticket, I'm assuming. So let me just double check because I don't know. Let's go to PDF and email templates. And so this would be email templates, and this would be the ticket comment email. So let's just look at this and see. So I think by default, what we're saying is, this is a whole different HTML thing, but let's just look here. Let's see if we can add all of it. So comment body, initial comment date, initial comment ticket, public comments for email. I actually think it might be this. So you might be able to add this and it would put all of those in that initial email. Of course, they are, they obviously can click on the link and look at the ticket that would have all of them in there. But I think I would test out some of these comment tags in that template. Hopefully that helps. Oh yeah, good job, Brandy. I see that posted in the chat.
I don't know what was said. I read it all last night, but I figured, you know what, it's public knowledge. I'm just gonna put it in there. And just a little note in there too. I want to let you guys know the chat goes away. So in 16 minutes when this closes, the chat goes away, grab anything you want. But there is an introductory pricing too. So you'll notice that we put that in the chat too. So you want to hop on board early if you want to do it. Peter does have a question about the new backup. Honestly, if you have questions about backup, since we haven't released it yet, we won't be able to answer any. If you want to post it on that, I guarantee you, Andy will respond like pretty quickly. He's been responding to everyone's questions and knows the most about this. That's going to be commenting on the Facebook group. So that's a really good point there. And then Bryant has a great question. Has Synchro ever considered offering paid premium support options that would include remote consulting support appointments? While overall the setup and support have been great, but sometimes high level issues are about deep understanding of the system and developing a process that works how Synchro works. Though I will say this is my first open office hours and this is great. Super happy to have you. I don't know if that's something we will offer. We have some unofficial, unaffiliated with Synchro users in the Facebook group that have offered consulting services with our users. I've actually heard great feedback from some people that that I know have used it. So I would recommend just checking it out in there. Crystal and I aren't MSPs, so you wouldn't want us to give you maybe business advice, but probably not. And our support team has, we've got a lot going on too. So I think it would be awesome, but we want to keep our costs down to our users and not charge you guys extra for things. So we'd like to have the resources available to you without you having to pay for things.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Bryant, I hear you. I have an enhancement request, but I think I might have an actual solution for you. In addition to the ability to attach documents to the many areas of Synchro, contracts, tickets, etc., the ability to reference a link to only resources would be awesome. Links allow you to attach a cloud-based document, which can be changed and updated. So what I was going to show you, let me just share my screen here and show you what we do have. So if let me go to Larry here, and I just want to show you that there is a custom field type specific for links. So if you wanted to have a specific link based on, and this is what's great, that link, you could have a link custom field for a customer, or you could have a link custom field for an asset. So it might be really nice to, depending on what it is, put it either in the customer or the asset. And in addition to that, contacts can have their own custom fields as well, and they can have a link. So depending on what the link is and who it should be attached to, you can choose where it goes. And so for example, just to go a little bit deeper into that, if you go, and I'll just show you really quickly, for those of you that haven't really dove into custom fields, let's just go to a customer custom field here, and I'll just show you. So there's different options, and here is your field type. So you have the option between all of these. And so if you can just select web link, and then it's a clickable link. So you wouldn't use a text field, you'd actually use the web link option. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if there's anything in addition to that that you were thinking, but hopefully that will solve it for you. I thought there was one other one. Oh, I was going to grab this one from Corey. A knock service would be great. I would recommend continuing to watch out for our new integrations. So that's what I will say.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes. Agree. Cool. Brian, is the backup discussion in this group? Yeah, that's the correct link. So if you want to go in there, I actually just did it, and I just searched backup, and then I found that post from Andy, or you can even search Andy's name and then you'll be able to see it. But yeah, join that group. It's awesome. You're going to get a lot of sneaks and opportunity to share your feedback, and also get direct comments and things from our team as well. They're all in there. So good way to find out if it's going to be on the horizon or not. And then we would like to have chat on our side on a separate screen and pop up on the client side as well. They seem to miss it. Okay, for that one, give me a little bit more information because on your screen, it is going to be separate. You know, you're not going to be remoting into a device. I just want to make sure I'm reading it properly. And then it is a pop-up, but it is going to be in the lower right corner for the customer. It's not going to be, you know, across their screen big. Now, if you wanted something like that, you could also send a broadcast message. They don't chat back to that, but you could also send a broadcast message, just a little tip there.
Message is like, check your chat.
Yes. It's an extra step, I know, but
that's not really my response to that. Grabbing this one, great question. We keep our customized text for ticket charges section pretty minimal. Only includes the ticket date, ticket number, and ticket subject. We only have one customer who wants to also see who the ticket creator was. Is there a way to easily do this for one client? And I'm assuming ticket creator, they're wanting to know on their end, like who is sending in an email, I'm assuming, right? Or is it they want to see the technician from your company that's creating the ticket? Either way, the answer is like there's not an easy way. Like there is not an easy way to do that, since that customize the ticket charges is global. The only thing that I was going to look at is for that individual customer, since it's not going to be like a one click built in. What I was going to do is go back to that report that Brandy showed earlier, the customer details report, because I wanted to know if maybe like in addition to, you could just send them a monthly report that has all of that information. But again, I think it depends on, do you mean who's creating the ticket for, let me run this report really quick. Okay. Created, contact, and what tech was working it. So I guess it doesn't say who created it really. It does if there's a contact attached to like the asset that it's about, it'll attach the contact. Let me look here on the tech notes. This will also say who added tech notes to any of the tickets, but I'm not seeing, they want to know which user created it from their company. So if their contact is associated with the asset that the tech is working, like you could send this report and it'll tell them which contact created the ticket. Is there another way to do this, Brandy? I can't think of another way to do this.
I can't either.
The only other, let me just go back one. The only other thing I was thinking is if it was in like tickets, ticket communications, because I don't think this is necessarily, yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay. I think that's a request at this point, but if there's a contact attached, maybe that customer detail report will work. All right. What else?
Let's see here.
I'm going to read this one. Adam, we are having issues with our auto task importer. We ran it once and it got 70% and something happened, was told to run again, and now it cancels. What is the best way to handle this? I'm assuming maybe this would definitely be technical support would have to look into it and see what's pausing it or stalling it. I know that when you do rerun it, it won't duplicate anything. Like I don't know if you just have a huge database that it's stalling because it's too large or just large just in general. But I definitely would reach back out to technical support.
I dropped you probably have the technical support email in there, but I went ahead and dropped it, and I'll also drop it just in the main chat too, rather than just to Adam. They can definitely help you with that. They've been dealing with a lot of importers recently.
Let's see. If you don't want line item pricing to appear on the estimate or invoice, can you use a specific customized report form that only shows total at the bottom? Can you change this on the fly? What happens when the end user sees this estimate or invoice on the portal. So let me think about that, because we do have, oh, I'm already in the admin section. I could have just went right here. If you go to your PDF and email templates, you can customize what your invoice template looks like. And you know how you're like, it maybe sometimes you want it, sometimes you don't. You can have different invoice templates. And when you edit those, though, I don't know if you have a line item, I guess you could maybe get rid of the line total on one of your templates. So, and obviously like you could get rid of the unit cost and line total and just use that template. What I will say is, I think as of today, let me just double check it, because we have we've alluded to, we have so many things releasing all the time that sometimes I question myself and have to double check to see if something has been released or not. Because I think as of today, I think we only have, there's one estimate template. So if you wanted to remove that, I think you can edit that and move it. And so this is exactly what they would see from the portal as well. So if you, for example, if you were in the customer portal and you saw an invoice, you're going to see exactly what I just said, like in that PDF, whatever you set up. And so if you're in the customer online portal, they're just getting a link to the PDF, right? So they can just look at the PDF and then choose whether they want to approve or decline it. So I think you'd have to really test out those PDF and email templates to see if you could get it to look exactly how you want it to.
Yeah, and like with the, can I change it on the fly? It would have to be specific in that invoice template that you select. So you could change, like if you were creating an invoice, you can choose on that invoice which template you want to use, but it's not like you could go in and just remove different sections right, on the fly.
Yeah, because what she's mentioning is like if you were in an invoice, you do have the option. Is it in actions? Oh no,
it's just right there. Yeah.
Template. So
I'm pointing at my screen, like you can see where I'm pointing,
I'm following, I'm tracking. I could tell I was in the wrong spot up there. The vibe through the computer. But anyways, yeah, so you could like have multiple templates, some that show it, some that don't, and you could change it on the fly here, but you couldn't necessarily go through here and be like, oh, I want that to not show there. Yeah. Oh, and an empty queue again. No one answered. I want to know. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, estimates, there's only one template for estimates.
However, I heard that I think that we want to be able to do different templates for estimates too. I don't have a time frame for that. So right now, as of today, yep, just invoices.
I got that question yesterday about estimates, so that would be awesome.
I don't know. I have zero time frame for that, but
if you're out there listening.
Yeah, 3 minutes and no one answered my question of what's your favorite thing about Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh, sweet potatoes with what, candied yams, I guess you call it. Sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top.
Of course. I knew, of course you would.
I have a sweet tooth, so.
Big.
No, Canada had Thanksgiving like what, a month or two ago, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And so
but you can still have, we have a lot of Canadians joining us today, but you can still have.
In Canada, do you have, is it the same like turkey, potatoes, stuffing, like is it the same Thanksgiving dinner?
I love everything. Favorite holiday, purely about family time. I love that. I am so sad. I actually live very far from my family now, but Thanksgiving used to be like the big thing, and my grandma made the best. Oh, I'm so jealous that I can't be there.
Thanksgiving has always been my favorite, and this year it falls right on my birthday. As a
well, this year we can't have more than a few people in each family here in California, so.
Ooh.
butter tart. So they said it's the same type of food, just different date.
Yum.
But speaking of Thanksgiving, we won't be here next Friday.
No, we will not.
We will miss you guys, but
I will be regretting all of the food I ate and hanging out. It's like the day after Thanksgiving and all of the leftovers is like that. Yes, is perfect. Perfection.
Corey, what? You've got to have a day, you know?
Yes. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Happy Friday. Have an awesome weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been recorded. We will post it on our YouTube channel. And thank you so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.